Hi, this is Kevin from Tom's Hardware, and we're at the Immersed 2015 conference in Toronto. Right now I'm talking with Guillaume from Starbreeze Studios. So, Guillaume, you joined Starbreeze after E3, you said, and you were from Infinite Eye?
Yeah, Infinite Eye was the company that works on this wide field of view concept for HMD.
Okay.
And what was very interesting is that the concept was here since 2013. But we incorporated the company in January 2014.
Okay.
And we start working with Starbreeze by the end of the year. And we officially joined them right after E3.
And so how did that collaboration come to be with Infinite Eye joining Starbreeze?
Yeah. It could have been easy for us to raise money with venture capital, but we wanted to be involved in games, and we know that if we go through the road of venture capital, we would never be allowed to do games. And we thought it was very important that we understand our medium and not just build the hardware. So Starbreeze immediately understand that VR was going to be super important for games, and that it was important to be involved on both sides. It's still R&D. We are mostly a game maker, but we want to showcase what's the best for VR for games. And that's why we keep saying that these 210 degrees are super important for immersion, especially in games. We think it changed everything.
Yeah, and so 210 degrees, that's a really wide field of view.
Yeah.
How did you come to figure out that that's the right size to go with?
Human vision is 240 or 270. Regular headset are 100, so you understand that we are very, very far from the natural vision.
Correct.
And we think that if your virtual reality life is going to be super important, it has to be lifelike, so it has to match your true human vision. So anyway, even in racing, people that wear helmet, they have to have a 210 degrees helmet.
Okay.
So for that peripheral vision, so you are aware that a bike is coming super fast or whatever the competition is, but it shows that 100 is not enough.
So the 210 degrees in a helmet, was that kind of your starting point for deciding that?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are using higher resolution displays than the other HMDs that are coming out soon. Can you speak to why you chose to go that route?
Yeah, we thought that high resolution was super important for believability.
Okay.
That highly detailed graphics immerse you even more. And for now, you see the pixel of the screens, and you notice that you need to approach the character, for instance, to be very close to start seeing his eyes or the detail of the face. And with high resolution, simply put, the world is more believable. And so our fight is the field of view and the resolution. You need both.
Yeah.
And also because we have twice the field of view, we need even more pixel because we have a larger spectrum.
Yeah, and so a big theme for VR has been pushing for 90 and 90 plus hertz screens, and the higher resolution screens don't really hit that yet, and the graphics card is being pushed a lot harder. Are you guys pushing to get to that point before it comes to retail?
Yeah, that's clearly our goal, but we don't want, that's why we are not in a hurry. That's why we think it's more a next cycle headset. We want that, but not at the sacrifice of lower resolution. So we will wait until we get there, maybe. But we think resolution is also very key. So it's a mix. Presence can be attained by different means. For us, it was field of view resolution. We would like to go to 90 Hz or 120 or maybe higher.
Yeah.
But for now, what's possible is only with, it would be at the sacrifice of our resolution. So, so we discuss with panel makers how to get there, keep our field of view, keep the resolution, and get to this 90 or 120 Hz.
So by keeping that resolution and going with a higher hertz rate, you're going to need a lot more GPU power. So are you guys kind of waiting for the graphics card industry to catch up as well?
Kind of.
Yeah.
We think that the benchmark we're working with is maybe the benchmark for in 2 years. But we think that for a GPU designer or manufacturer, it's clear that VR is key for them. So we have no question that we will be able to get there. It's just a matter of time.
Sure.
Stereoscopic 3D was here first and was already asking a lot. But now VR is completely understood by GPU manufacturer, so we will get there. I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
It's not the most difficult part. Indeed, creating this wide field of view with a few centimeters of distance between the lens and the display is the major breakthrough. The rest, I think, we just have to wait until it happens, but it's on a roadmap on many companies.
Okay.
GPU or display manufacturer.
Now, when I was talking to you before the camera, you mentioned that you guys you believe that there's a space for a high-end headset. So, do you envision that you guys will be positioned as a higher-end unit than what would be on the market at the time? Or do you figure that other manufacturers will kind of follow what you guys are doing by the time you're...
We would love to be as accessible as possible, but as we said, we don't want to sacrifice the experience.
Sure.
For now, that's our goal, to make the best experience possible for the gamer. And we're still R&D, and we don't take the constraint of the price right now, because if we try to do the best and keep the price constraint at the same time, we can't reach that point.
Yeah,
when we will reach that point,
for
sure the price is going to go down. But for now, we didn't freeze our specification, and we keep adding stuff. So we add high tracking, which is super important for games, both for interaction with NPC and also to ease the rendering for GPU, because you can put the higher resolution only where you're looking at. So yeah, price comes at a second matter for now.
Sure, yeah.
But it's because we're still in R&D.
I got a chance to try the headset, and one of the first things that I noticed is that the lenses sit very close to your face. In fact, the first position that I put it on, my eyelashes actually touched the lenses. Now, is that done on purpose, or are you going to be...
We are still working on the ergonomics. That's also something that's very hard to tackle, because each face is different.
Sure.
We would like to add 1 or 2 more millimeters of distance to avoid that. That stuff is going to be incorporated in the next iteration.
Okay.
These are indeed internal dev kit, but we show them because it's the last burst version, even if it doesn't look like super polished.
Yeah.
But yeah, that matter is just a matter. We have 10 millimeters between the eyes and the screen.
10 millimeters?
Yeah, 10 millimeters between the eye and the lens, and maybe we will add 1 or 2 more millimeters to avoid that.
Okay, and so what would you be doing about people with glasses? So the way it sits right now, I don't see how it would support glasses.
Yeah, we are working on that.
Okay.
It's for our next iteration. We can't promise we will surely deliver that, but clearly it's many game developer engineers wear glasses, so it's really a key thing for us.
Yeah, I mean, probably over 30% of the population.
We were.
So,
yeah. So no, this version was just to showcase the wide field of view, and now we can build and improve it on top of that, getting people wearing glasses, high tracking stuff.
Okay, so for head tracking and for tracking of the peripherals, you guys are using fiduciary markers. Can you speak to why you chose that direction versus like LED tracking or IR tracking?
We indeed experienced both. We did higher tracking before, but the turnaround time to get higher tracking on the hardware side, like the LED, was taking a lot of time, and it was slowing us down. So we wanted to show the wide field of view and with full position tracking. And we tested the fiducial markers. We thought it was very interesting because it could be very, very fast. We just had to stick stickers on the headset and it was working. It has also allowed us to do tracking of peripheral.
Yeah, so you guys have the shotgun for the Walking Dead experience. Do you have plans to bring other peripherals and other guns or anything else into this sort of tracking?
I think it's maybe going to be per game.
Okay.
We don't know yet, but what's nice is that we just put these markers and it's working immediately.
Yeah.
So that was it was R&D. We're going to shift to another solution, but for us, it has allowed us to do our R&D. We were curious to see how far it could go, and it was pretty well. It's not going to be the final technology solution.
Okay, so something
but basically, IR or fiducial marker are based on the same optical tracking technology. So we could do both.
Okay.
And we are also very glad to look at lighthouse position tracking.
So you're bringing lighthouse support into.
We are thinking about it.
Okay.
It's still, as we said, we didn't freeze our specification yet.
Okay.
But OpenVR and maybe lighthouse is going to be. This OpenVR is going to be our main road as to support a game developer.
Okay. So you guys are thinking about Lighthouse with Valve, but we recently heard that you guys have partnered with Tobii Tech for eye tracking. Can you speak to how that's going? Like, do you have a dev kit internally that has that yet, or is it just brand new that you just partnered?
It was part of our roadmap from day one, more than 1 year ago. But until we figure and we had our first set of lenses, it was useless to work on a high tracking because the high tracking has to go through the lens, and the lens kind of brings some distortion. So until you have your first final design for the lens, it's not worth it to work on a high tracking. So now we can build on that.
Okay.
So it's very interesting for foveated rendering, that's allowed to optimize the rendering just where you're looking at.
Yeah, that should help performance.
And as we have very wide field of view and that your eyes can wander in the scene, as you can notice when you try it, it will be useful because in our headset you can look a bit on the right, on the left, quite far. So it's really improving that. And for the gaze tracking, I think for NPC, knowing that a character in Metal Gear Solid is going to recognize you are looking at him, I think that's going to bring a lot. And also it will assist the player on tasks where VR is maybe not very good, like menu, all kind of interface. It's going to be very natural just to look at it. And also, for now, we try to grab object on everything, but I think if you look at the object and grab it, we can save the player's energy for overaction.
Okay.
And I think that's going to be very useful for that. So it was always part of our plan, just we needed to have a first serious iteration of our headset before going into that.
Thanks so much for talking to me, Guillaume. It's been great learning more about the StarVR headset and Starbreeze Studios and how Infinite Eye came together with you guys. But I understand you have one more thing to talk about?
Yeah, thank you. And we have a team traveling all over the US, and we have new dates to show the headset. So Krunal, my colleague, works on that.
Okay, so Krunal, can you tell us a little bit more about the tour?
Yeah, so the number one question we get asked is, what is virtual reality?
Yeah.
What is this all about? Is it really for real? And so what we thought at Starbreeze was, wouldn't it be cool if we had a RV van retrofitted with our stations, our pods that we refer to, and we showcase to the mainstream audience what VR is all about.
Sure.
So what we've done is we partnered with Waka Stalker, and we've gone through various cities in the USA, like San Diego, Philadelphia, Boston, and we're going to be going soon to both Atlanta for Halloween and New York for first week of December in New York. And we're just going to be showcasing to the world, like, this is what VR is about. It's here, it's real, and this is what the StarVR differentiation is with our wide field of view for freedom that we give it.
And exactly the same demo you've played. So
if anyone wants to try it, then just make sure that they go to those two events and then they can check it out?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.